I'm not going to approve. I hear what you're saying. I will not approve that lease, and therefore there's no agreement. I'll tell you that right now. If we don't have that garage built, a guarantee for that garage and that a lease agreement for the boat show, that's where I'm at.
But it's never been a written part of the condition.
I want to talk about that right now, because that site plan condition needs to include the boat show lease.
Understood.
I don't understand why that's not in there. I mean,
well, but keep in mind, Jack, that this is being done in phases, and the garage structure is at the very end of all the phases. So the two towers are already going to supposedly be built, and the garage structure housing the boat show is the last in the puzzle.
Right, but you can do it in that window of time, I believe.
Right, that's assuming the two towers are built. Keep in mind that if the two towers are not built, there's no guarantee that the garage is ever going to be built and that there's ever going to be a permanent home for the boat show.
Well, there's going to be a permanent home because a 30-year lease is going to be required. A permanent home, you're only saying it may not be a permanent structure, but the permanent home is done.
Well,
I mean, if anybody has any doubt about a 30-year permanent home for the boat show, I think they've not sat through 6 public hearings.
Yeah, but they haven't come to any agreement yet.
Well, they're going to come to an agreement.
Then they won't get a new lease.
I understand that.
I mean, you think you go through all this not to reach an agreement to condition proceeding?
Hey, look, all we gave them was $1 million penalty. So they can yeah, I know. So the point that I'm trying to make is that the garage component, the structure, we need to think about that being together taken with the 30-year lease that we're requiring, because otherwise just doing a 30-year lease and giving them an event lawn doesn't really accomplish the goal we're seeking to accomplish here.
Well, but my issue, when you talk about the goal, my issue with the boat show is they said what square footage they need.
Right.
And if they don't get the square footage they need, they're not going to agree to it. So I am not going to sit and micromanage that relationship in any way, shape, or form, because originally I was under the impression they didn't want a garage because of comments I got from that industry as we brought up at the February meeting, where I had them say to me, we don't want the garage, we don't want this. Then when I met with them after, in between the meetings, as we talked about, they said, hey, we'll take the garage as long as the square footage is what we want.
Right.
And they said it was never about the ceiling, the walls, the floor. It was about square footage. So my thing is, again, I'm not going to speak for the boat show. I have no authority to, but I will tell you, without the boat show, this deal doesn't get done. And if they're comfortable with the square footage, covered or uncovered, walls or no walls, I'm comfortable.
Well, Jack, then what we've accomplished here is that we've then given the developer the right to not build the garage, not give them a permanent structure, and at the same time allow them to build their two towers in anticipation of their just giving them a 30-year lease. I think that's a raw deal, and I don't think that's fair. We've got to make sure that we've got to make sure that built into this deal is the permanent home for a boat show, not just a 30-year lease, and that they're given something that's special, that's unique to Fort Lauderdale, that makes the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show a destination for years to come. Because the only reason why we're giving them these two towers, that you're giving them these two towers, is because we're expecting something special for the boat show. If we're not going to get that something special, why are we giving them the two towers?
Dean wants some type of, I understand you, Dean, from my perspective, you want some type of guarantee that that garage is being built.
Right. And it's not.
Regardless of the phase. Because the boat show wants, if there's a guarantee that that's going to be built, regardless, the boat show can still sell the boat show for the future, like they said. They can market themselves and plan for the future. But I think that's what you're saying.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay, I just wanted to catch on to what you're
So I got a solution for this.
Tell me.
Okay? As you guys know...
will you just verify the time frame, so at least I have that for the...
I think I introduced myself before. I'm Al Fernandez. I'm the president of A&F Group, and I've been in the construction business for 35 years.
You've done a bunch of stuff at Nova, right?
I have. We just finished the Center for Collaborative Research at Nova, and currently doing a parking garage for Memorial Hospital West in Pembroke Pines. That said, the garage is going to be built here. Will be a prefabricated garage, as you guys have seen in the past, where all that structure, including floors, walls, columns, are built off-site. So what we intend to do is prepare all of the manufacturing of those products off-site, And as soon as the boat show is complete, we'll be ready to break ground, assuming we get a building permit from Mr. Travers, which is sitting in the audience here. I'm just kidding. But that said, when we start our pilings, we'll start the foundation, and we'll have the materials delivered and erected within the 6 to 7 month period
That's
without
not
a
what we're
problem.
talking about.
Well, that's what I was asked.
No, that's not what we're talking about.
Gene, he's answering that question.
He's answering my question.
I'm only answering the question,
We'll resolve
which
that,
relates to
I believe.
construction.
But I want it answered so no one can say, well, they never made a commitment as
Right.
the time.
all right.
It
so-
can be done. Is the reason I'm up here.
We understand that you have the technology and the talent to do it within a smaller time frame, and we understand that, and that's great. But the reality is, we don't know that it's, that there's a commitment to actually build it.
Okay, so here's my suggestion. All right. You all know that I've been talking more about the lease than anything else. And I still feel that way. I feel strongly about it. And we know that we're still talking about values here. And we're waiting on this appraisal. We're going to get it next week, hopefully. So now I think we need to pivot. All right. We pivot from the site plan to the lease. All right. And we get all these things lined up that are essentials, and we get numbers lined up, and assuming that the developer starts with where he left off in his negotiation, I already have made an opinion that that's not a fair deal for the city. Okay. And so he said, well, I can't give you more unless you tell me what I'm going to get you, what I can get. And so we've already pretty much outlined in the coloring book what he has asked for. So let's pivot. Let's go to the lease. Let's get down to the dirty numbers here. I mean, this has got to be a partnership. There's got to be transparency. Mr. Tate has said I'll show you all my numbers. Well, I want to see all his numbers. I know you guys do too, right? So we really need to know what this is going to look like in black and white.